this wave of excavation? It looks like it. Yeah. As you can see, the place is definitely starting to look a lot nicer. It's looking a lot more easier to build in this area. There's my skeleton horse, an extra horse pen, some various other areas that were marked out. In case you're wondering where spawn is for world spawn, it's all the way over there. Before that tree, there's that tree is located roughly here. This is world spawn. I am here, obviously, as you can see when I, turn about. I need to climb back up here because it's now falling into nighttime. Since the... Oh no, it's morning. Okay. In that case, I needed to climb back up here to start excavating. More pumpkins, yay. Yeah, Dragonis was like, wow, this is amazing. And then she looked all over the ground before her and realized there's shards of blood rubies just all over the ground before her. Meaning, if she wanted, she could just grab some shards off the ground. She was like, well, do you guys, use these for anything? And they're like, no, this is actually the waste product. And it's like, this is the waste product? What do you guys do with it? And he was like, oh, well, we just kind of go and deposit it in various dungeons around the place as we travel. We surface and we harvest all this, and then we deposit the shards in dungeons. And sometimes there's a few thousand, sometimes it's a few hundred. We don't do it all in one place because, we don't want things to get too cluttered and overwhelmed. And she was like, wow, that's amazing because, I was offered 2,000 gold for just one of these little shards here. And they were like, really? 2,000 gold, you say? It's like, yeah, I know, right? They were like, yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it is. Well, do you know anyone else who's interested in them? It's like, plenty of people? What do you mean, do I know anyone else? There's plenty of people interested in these things, what kind of rock have you been living under? And they were just like, the ocean? It's like, oh yeah, you've been living under the ocean this whole time. You have no idea how valuable any of this stuff is. That's right. And then Draconis was like, well, do you need help cleaning this place up? Because I could make use of this stuff. And they were like, oh, yeah, no one really usually offers to help. I'd love to have someone help me clean this place up. This place is a real trouble to keep clean because, we're just constantly having to clean it and constantly needing to maintain it. And it's just a real bother, it's real troublesome. I would love to have someone helping. Thank you for offering. I accept. It's like, cool. Is there anything I should, watch out for while I'm doing this? No, we usually just sweep it up. Just sweep it up. Okay. In that case, this is really easy. And she decided to cast transmute. She may have had to use a spell slot for that, but she didn't mind because she transmuted all of the blood rubies that were scattered across the ground into a golem, and then she told the golem, okay, I want you to follow me. That is all I need from you at the moment. Just follow me. Don't break anything. Don't attack anything. Just follow me. Simple enough. Okay. It actually understood her enough, but it couldn't speak, I think, for that one. Each of her golems had a chance of being able to understand her. If they couldn't understand her, then she would have to figure out some way to give it its orders or risk it becoming a rampaging golem. As I mentioned before, when she was defending the Dragon Sanctuary, she ended up with a rampaging golem that could not understand her, which she didn't mind because it suited her needs at the time. But it was an ever-present option. There was a chance that she would summon a golem and it wouldn't be able to understand her and it would just start beating her up. Okay, that's fine, She ended up with a very sizable blood ruby golem because of this situation, though. And the guy was like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen the floor of this room. Like, it's just normally covered in blood rubies because, this is where the rubies are shaved off. Steve, the GM, had very intricately described the room. He described how there was, the gem being carved by lasers and how it was self-articulating and basically aiming itself so that it didn't do as much damage. It was doing as little damage as possible to the giant 30 cubic foot gem that was a massive blood ruby before her. And she was like, okay, well, I suppose that's a thing. She didn't really understand enough of the blood ruby to reconstitute the golem into the gigantic power source, the gigantic blood ruby itself. But she understood enough to, gather the materials, which was more than enough for what she needed. I already have a shovel. I don't need to make another one yet. This goat, however, needs to not be here because these goats can get annoying. Yeah. She definitely didn't know enough to go about, converting the entire thing back into one massive gem. However, she managed to... she didn't know enough to convert it back into one massive gemstone. She did, however, know enough to make it so that she could create a golem out of what materials she had available. And therefore, she was able to really astound the guy as she created a golem out of what was the remains of their power source waste product. It was the materials which they were not able to use because it was shaved off and no longer whole. She probably would have needed to study the massive gemstone itself in order to figure out how to turn that back into one giant crystal. She, however, was not the studying type unless it really interested her. And basically giving up a gigantic quantity of blood rubies did not really seem to interest her. However, what she ended up doing was she took all of the gold that she had, which was quite a lot, because she did sell some of her blood rubies. She was like, well, I do need some money for all of this material that I'm going to be buying. So she sold some blood rubies, and then she was like, well, yeah, I've got, a bunch of gold. I've got a bunch of blood rubies. I want to take I want to take all of my gold. I want to take all of my blood rubies. I want to take my blood ruby golem. And the guy even had like 3 or 5 bags of blood rubies that he was getting ready to offload. And it's like, well, I can handle that. I can make use of that. I'm getting ready to make some new armor here. And they were like, you're going to make armor? It's like, yeah, I'm sitting here running around in leather on the ocean. How well do you think this armor is going to hold up long term? What do you think? He was like, yeah, that's a fair point. Leather armor, ocean, salt water. Your armor is not going to last very well in this environment because it's just going to get all dehydrated from the salt water. The salty air is going to basically damage the armor because it's leather. It's essentially skin of various animals that has been dehydrated. She had the crystal dragon scale armor, but even then, same situation. It's the salty air is not good for it. Therefore, she went and she cast transmute on her armor. She wasn't really the shy type, so she didn't mind that she had to basically strip naked right in front of the guy. He was just like, oh my. It's like, what? She was an 18-year-old elf. She didn't really understand the whole concept of modesty all that well. She was a mature woman. It's like, what? You've never seen a naked woman before? It's like, that's not what, you know what? Never mind. Just, continue. I'll just stand over here and watch. You don't mind if I watch from behind the counter, do you? No, I don't mind. Why? It's like, no reason. It's like, yeah. Dragonis was not the shy type. She was very open, very personable, very forthcoming. Dragonis was not afraid to let others see her naked. I mean, it was kind of how she robbed people. She would end up naked with them, and then she'd sleep with them, and they'd do things, and then because she didn't actually need to sleep, she, instead of sleeping alongside them, she would rob them and take all of their money and some valuables, and she would then, give the bartender a percentage of the money, a percentage of the payment, whereupon she would find herself hold on. I have to go deal with these llamas over here because this is specifically what causes some of the lag, is specifically this scenario right here, this situation. Okay, the llama broke its lead, and then in the process, watch this shot. This is amazing. Watching the llama do this. best loogie ever, right? Like, it is amazing how accurate the llama is at that range with spit. That is astounding. Let me retrieve the lead here. And in order to prevent this guy from just constantly creating particle effects, I'll go ahead and take care of him. Let's see, is there anything else I need to take out? The Wandering Trader will eventually despawn. I don't need to worry about the Wandering Trader. However... Okay. Just kind of leapt out of the water like a dolphin, as usual. And now I go deposit. I deposit the leads, and then I deposit the. After depositing the leads, I will go deposit the leather. I want to deposit the raw mutton over at the smoker. That's going to be useful. Okie dokie. We've got raw mutton up in here. Doesn't look like we've harvested any extra kelp yet. We're getting there, though. We're working on it. Eventually, that whole treasure chest is going to fill up with pumpkins. And then I want another treasure chest for the carved pumpkins, another treasure chest for jack-o'-lanterns. The lanterns are, of course, very useful. Do I want to deposit the leather? I don't think I'll deposit the leather just yet. I will, however, deposit these lanterns. I forgot to deposit the lanterns while I was over here. I really do need to remember more. Deposit those. Okay. Now I'm ready to go back to the excavations. Yeah. As you can tell, just starting on one side and just working your way from there is definitely a very effective method of excavating a mountain. Because then you can just basically scan line your way down. If I really wanted to take it a little bit slower, then I'd be able to make use of my my excavations advancing one layer at a time. However, I'm trying to really speed through this because I'm trying to not need to dig so darn much. However, you know, I'm still excavating the entirety of a mountain in the extreme hills biome. Therefore, there's not really much I can do. I could probably start making some flying machines because I have more than enough slime for it. It's just a matter of actually building it. Alternatively, I could make use of a machine that allows me to push all of the stone to me. Therefore, I don't have to actually go about trying to figure out how I'm going to advance all of this stone into one spot. I could actually set up a system that will excavate all the way down to the surface that I want it at, and it'll just bring all of the material to me, and then I can just have it push all of that material. The problem I'm going to encounter is that I need to have some way for it to push all of the material, but I need it to not I need it to not have the material build up in a way that is not conductive to what I'm trying to do. In other words, I need it to not move the flying machines to me. I just need it to move all of this material forward. I'm not really sure how to do that in a way that is going to push the proper amount of material without causing me to need to go through and actually excavate a lot of the area around the various flying machines. I also don't know how to make it do that without needing to go into the nether and mine a bunch of quartz. I would need to get a bunch of observers is why. There's all kinds of different variables that I have not really figured out on how I would just basically piston feed tape this material around. I would love to have some form of automation that is able to easily, feed all of this material into a singular location, allowing me to just excavate it with a stone pickaxe while I stand at a crafting table ready to craft more stone pickaxes. I would love to be able to have it where it auto collects all of the material, allowing me to not need to make constant trips down to my storage down below every time my inventory fills up. Instead, I can just let the inventory fill up, and then hoppers will take care of the rest. Stuff like that. Yeah. Lots of excavating to be done. This is a good point in the video to mention that it really does help if you leave a like on the video. Helps if you subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, that's great. If you already left a like on the video, that is also great. If you did not leave a like on the video yet, go ahead and hit that like button. Make the button a lovely blue color, because that's how you know that you've liked the video on YouTube. Is the button will be blue. You obviously want to have my channel do well, obviously, because clearly this is the type of content that you're interested in seeing. And if you're interested in seeing more of this content, well, the easiest way to do that is to support me on YouTube by leaving a like on the video. It really does help my channel grow a lot because it allows me to get more people viewing my content, because YouTube will have the algorithm suggest my content to more people. Those videos that say, hey, people who watched so-and-so's channel also had a tendency to watch this. That's the type of members that it attracts. That's what the algorithm does. I have gotten over 1,000 impressions on some days. Other days I get maybe 400 impressions. Sometimes I get 600 impressions. The number of impressions really does vary from day to day. I've noticed that on my early morning releases, I've been getting on average about 400 impressions. I want to get that number increased just a little bit. I am aware that the majority of my viewers are going to be in the later evening hours. That's part of the reason why I release the videos in the morning, is because this allows people to sit there and enjoy maybe listening to my videos while they're at school or on the school bus, or maybe they're at work and they're listening as they do their work. They can sit there and they can just listen to me discussing all of this material that I'm talking about while they, do their job, or while they perform their schoolwork, or while they're on their lunch break. Well, on their lunch break is maybe a bit of a stretch. Most people only get a 30-minute lunch break. But if people are able to, if there's over 1,000 people who watched live streams of Critical Role, and they stream for 4 hours at a time, and it gets to the point where they actually had to hide the chat because the chat was just a wall of text. Even on the video, it's just, you can't pause the video fast enough, even at a quarter speed, to actually read what everyone is saying, because it just scrolls past. It'll teleport past. It's going so fast, Therefore, if that many people can like that content, then there's really nothing stopping my channel from reaching that same level of popularity, other than just having the number of people who are told, hey, this is the type of content that that is useful to you. This is the type of content that is that is suggested for you. Also, it's going to notify me in this video that my storage space is running low. The reason for that is because I record 4 hours at a time, specifically because that is what my phone is able to store. I have 8 gigabytes of storage available on my SIM card. Therefore, it allows me to record 4 hours of video at 2 gigabytes per hour, which is why I upload at approximately 720p 60 fps, which is 720 pixels diagonal at 60 frames per second, or 60 hertz as it's called, HERTZ. That is the frame rate of Minecraft, is 60 frames per second. However, I actually record it at 20 frames per second because you're not going to notice the difference. You're really not. Your eyes are tuned to 20 frames per second. Therefore, a 60 frames per second video can have a lot of room for buffering, can have a lot of room for low-end processors to really catch up. You can actually watch this on lower-end devices. And I'm aware of that because I actually sometimes have to watch my videos at 80 frames per second, or at 480, not 80 frames per second, but at 480, 60 FPS. And 480 pixels at 60 frames per second is actually not half bad either, especially for Minecraft on a device such as this, where I'm making use of a rather limited skill set, a rather limited ability to actually create the content. This allows me to create the content in a manner that is conducive to a very rapid release time. I can create a lot of videos very quickly. I just have to record them and then upload them. Problem is, it still takes me about 6 hours to upload all of the videos to YouTube, and because of that, it can sometimes take a long time. But the result is that the videos look very nice, they load very smoothly, they have a good quality range. They're able to be played in 720 at 60 FPS. Sometimes I'll notice that like my videos will be at 720, but they'll be at like 48 frames per second, or they'll be at 50 frames per second, which, by the way, 50 frames per second is the European frame rate. Fun fact for you there. That's the European frame rate, is 50 FPS. So 480 50, 720p 50 is technically one of the more compatible formats for European viewers, whereas 720p 60 is for the majority of the US, where I'm decently sure the majority of my viewers are from. I'm not sure how many of my viewers have filled in their age range or anything like that. It has been a little while since I've actually looked at my the full extent of my analytics. The analysis of my viewer membership is of my viewership is something that I should pay more attention to. I do pay a lot of attention to it because, you know, my viewership is obviously a worthwhile thing, since that is what's going to be offering me some form of income, some form of actual profitability, some form of business motivation, a vested interest, if you will. I hate when it falls off the cliff. Yeah, it fell all the way down there. I'll have to get it in a minute. Yep, there went another one. Ow. Yeah, the viewing membership is something that ooh, that guy has a trident. Hold on. Hold that thought. This guy has a trident. You see why I wanted the trident? He two-shot me. Okay, let's see if I can get that trident from that guy. Now that he has all of my armor. Little prick. This is gonna be painful, isn't it? Probably. Cannonball! Ooh! I grabbed the helmet first. Awesome. Where is... There's the map. Where'd this guy go? He was right here. Seriously? He despawned. How rude. He killed me and immediately despawned. Well, fortunately, my inventory doesn't seem that messed up. Let me go ahead and... Well, I guess I don't need to really surface all that much. I was like, let me go ahead and surface so that I can breathe. And it's like, well, I don't really need to because I'm still fully saturated on my breathing, mostly. It's like, oh, well, in that case, let me just return to base, I guess. In a little bit, I'm almost done recording. As I said. So yeah, as I was saying before I got distracted, my viewing membership is kind of important because that's going to be providing a form of income eventually, along with, of course, the Patreon supporters. The Patreon is going to definitely be very useful. The Patreon supporters will be allowing me to definitely have a lot more income than what YouTube is going to pay me. Even if you support me at the $1 range on Patreon, it's going to probably be worth more than if you watched the first 100 episodes of my playlist after I managed to become a advertising affiliate with YouTube. The advertising revenue of YouTube is not known to be extremely valuable. However, it has been known to provide a small amount of respite amongst some YouTubers. Some YouTube content creators have found YouTube to have decently fair payment options. I personally prefer something a little more stable, a little more solid. I don't want to have to rely on just potential income. I want to rely on people who actually, pledge to donate a certain amount of money each month in order to support my content, so that I am better able to provide my viewing membership a stable quantity as well as a stable quality of video. I want my viewers to find my videos easy to enjoy. I want my viewers to find my videos worthwhile for their time. I know that not everyone is going to find my videos worthwhile. However, I don't really mind all that much as long as my viewers find my videos helpful, because that will allow me to make more videos for them, and that will get me more viewing time, more subscribers, more likes on my videos, which then of course offers me more viewers, which will once again provide more likes, more subscriptions to my channel, but possibly even more people who want to give me money. You know, I've always been a bit of a self-starter, because I try to ensure that the people who enjoy my content are able to properly enjoy my content. They're not, pigeonholed into a single option. That being said, I don't really have very many options available to me in order to allow my viewers to fully enjoy the maximum extent of my content. My options are limited, and as a result of my options being limited, of course, that means your options to view my content are also limited. Therefore, the best way to help me grow my channel so that your options are not as limited for how you are able to enjoy my content is to leave a like on the video, subscribe, check out the Patreon page. I understand that I'm mentioning it a lot, but it really does help. It does actually provide a massive amount of sustainable income if I get enough Patreon supporters who are pledging enough money. And once I have enough money, I will be able to upgrade my equipment. I'll be able to upgrade my recording setup so that I can have a setup that is able to, for example, have soundproofing, so that for those of you who are hearing, for example, my dad eating in the other room, I'm decently sure the headphone users at least are able to hear him. I can provide soundproofing for my recording setup. I can get a recording microphone so that I can actually, I can have a headset so that I can actually have a recording microphone that's an actual recording microphone, instead of just using my phone for literally everything, which is what I'm currently doing. I'm using my phone for literally everything. All of my content is being recorded through my phone, uploaded from my phone. It's being stored on my phone temporarily while I'm uploading all of it. And then once it's uploaded, I have to delete it from my phone because I need to have enough space to record the next episodes for the next day. 4 hours a day is a lot of content, and on top of that, if I manage to have any crashes, I of course need to repair the videos, and the repairs of the videos are done on my phone as well. And it's just this massive rabbit hole, as they say, of everything's going through my phone. And if my phone breaks, then that just kind of, that's just all I can do. There's not really much I can do if my recording device were to suddenly give out, which is not good. we don't want my recording device to no longer be able to record, because then you'd miss out on all of my lovely recording episodes where I'm, where I'm going through and I'm making use of all of the Minecraft knowledge at my disposal, you know? I do try and record the full logistics of everything I do. Therefore, you don't actually miss out on very much. For example, you just saw that I transferred like 3 barrels worth of dirt down here in order to allow myself to have some form of storage where I am able to provide an accurate description of what was done today. If I were to need to say, hey, what did I do on the 13th? I'd be able to look it up because I recorded it, If I need to say, where did I leave that axolotl in a bucket? I'd be able to say, well, I can just look up the recording, and the recording will tell me, oh, you left them over there. Okay, and I'd go over there and I'd retrieve my axolotl. I will actually put the axolotl in here, as well as the string, because I don't have anywhere else to put the string at the moment. I don't have anywhere that I'm storing string at the moment. Actually, no, I will store it in the next barrel over, because I can store it with the tripwire hooks. There we go. Now I have a place for my string. Ta-da! Problem solved. And I solved it on camera. You can see that kind of thing. I can check and see, I still have the minecart there. That's great. That's 5 ingots for the minecart, 5 ingots for the hopper, 2 logs for the storage chest for the hopper. So that's 10 ingots of iron just moving back and forth. Because it is on that chunk border for that rail, if the minecart disappears because it crosses that chunk border when one of these chunks is unloaded, then I will need to spend another 10 iron to rebuild the minecart. I'm going to actually shear these guys. Oh, that was one thing I freaking lost. Brown wool. I had a brown wool, and because I took out that brown sheep, but because I died, I managed to lose track of that brown wool. That's a bummer. Okay. Now, where'd that other one go? There he is. Or she. Yeah, this is great right here. Just having 2 sheep is really helping, because now I can sit here and do this. Now I've got 15 carpet, which means I am able to apply more white carpet to my horse pen. you know, make the carpet match the drapes, as it's as it's known. Yeah. Okay. Got that situation sorted out. These guys eat any more grass yet? This one did. There we go. Retrieve his wool. Or her wool. I don't know. Its wool. Retrieve its wool. There we go. That's accurate enough phrase. And then I can just kind of sit here and watch them. If I managed to get them to travel over that way far enough, I could retrieve the leads from the treasure chest over there. However, that would require me doing a lot of nudging, because otherwise there's really no way to get them to not despawn. And again, they have a tendency to walk on their own. It's kind of difficult to actually nudge them over. And even then, on top of all of that, I would still need to have them go retrieve a fence post. I would need to craft a fence post. Because I would need somewhere to tie them to. Come on, sheepies. I know you're both hungry. You're obviously both hungry because you both need a new coat of wool. Do-do-do-do. If you're wondering about the beehive, it doesn't currently have any bees in it. Therefore, all of these flowers are mostly just entirely decoration. Aha! Okay. That's good enough for now. I will... Oops! I will... I'll remove this goat from my skeleton horse pen, because I don't want goats wandering around in the same area where my skeleton horse resides, because then it